happening, y'all? Welcome back. This is episode 153 of Super Flashy Arrow of Tomorrow. I am your host, the self-knighted Sir Cussalott Travis Pointer, aka the Dragon King, aka Big T, aka T Money, aka Sweet T, aka Black Merlin, aka the HNIC. And I'm joined as always by my co-host Mara the Shark Watkins.
Hello.
Hi Mara.
Hi, Travis.
How are you?
I'm alive.
Me too.
That's where I am. I'm alive.
I would hope you are. Because if you weren't alive and I was sitting here talking to you, I'd be a little concerned.
But hey, at least I'd still be dedicated, and at least it shows how dedicated I am. I still showed up to work in the afterlife.
I don't know if I want that level of dedication though.
You just want me
Like,
to be at rest.
I think if you went ahead and you died, I think I'd be okay with you not showing up. Like, I think I would accept that. It's okay.
I just want my dead self would be like, I just want to make it to the next pay period. Once the pay period closes, I can go on.
Interesting. You have to talk to HR about that, and he's sleeping on over by the front door. So
Well, I mean, it is 10, 11:30. So I mean, I wouldn't reach out to HR at this hour.
yeah, yeah. But that's not what we're here to talk about, though. We're here to talk about the Arrowverse on the CW. Supergirl, Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow, Black Lightning, Batwoman, Stargirl, Superman Lois. You know them.
Stargirl comes back in August,
It does.
the
It does.
10th, before Supergirl comes back.
And then it goes away though, because that's the important part. Is that Supergirl comes back and then it ends and it goes away because this season,
It's
like
the
this,
last one, right? There's not like
yes,
another one
yeah,
coming,
they're
right?
not doing anymore because the season is trash, and they're like, oh, this is trash that we have left. We shouldn't do this anymore. So they're ending it. You know, good on you for having for good on you for reading the room, Supergirl. Like it's just we ain't got it no more, so we gonna end this. But what we do have right now, we got Batwoman, we got Legends, and we got Flash. So where would you like to begin Sharknado?
Let's just go with Legends.
Cool. Because I
Rip that
missed the
band-aid
beginning.
off.
Because I missed the beginning of this, and I'm like, this isn't worth me going back and watching the beginning. So tell me what happened at the beginning.
Um, I was gonna say I think I missed the beginning too, but I didn't. Um, Ava was like stress prepping breakfast for Sarah on her first day back officially as captain. But then everyone else was kind of all like stressing and freaking out to welcome back Sarah. It was weird. Um, we had Spooner and Gary lifting some weird box tablet thing. I feel like they said something about it, but not a lot of detail until, Constantine comes up to Gary and starts asking him about this fountain of Imperium. And Gary, plays dumb about it. Like,
Yeah, I saw that part. I came in during the sing along in the saloon, so that's when I started watching.
oh boy.
So I saw Constantine like, yo, I got a way to get my powers back if we do this, and he asked Gary about it, and Gary like, yo, that thing's not real, but he's obviously lying.
Yeah, because
Um,
Gary's a horrible liar.
yeah. So yeah, they're in the saloon because for some reason there was some shit going on, variants happening. So like, we got to go get this shit.
We got to
Um,
get these aliens. And Nate's trying to organize a simple mission for Sarah to, get her feet wet again.
So yeah, they realize clearly there's something going on here. This saloon is far too happy and healthy. They're not serving alcohol. They're just not doing saloon shit. The
They
sheriff's
got
rules are weird. Yeah.
rule 3 is no gambling. Rule 4 is no fornicating.
So all the things you do in a saloon, don't do them things.
No drinking unless it's root beer.
Yeah, yeah. Also, Bass Reeves is a wanted man, which that's backwards as fuck. Levi Stapleton is the sheriff, which is also backwards as fuck.
Yikes.
There's a crazy big worm thing there, which we realize is the reason why Stapleton's in charge because he's got the whistle. How'd he get the whistle? Who knows?
Yeah,
Um,
it's an alien worm.
yeah, yeah. It's drawn to anger, so they got to stay calm and not get all upset and worked up. Um, yeah, I mean, so we got to do everything in a happy way. So in order to get the whistle, they're like, "Yo, we're gonna go do the square dance contest."
Yeah, we can kind of just jump ahead in this because it don't really fucking matter.
Yeah, yeah. Sarah challenges Stapleton to a duel. Asher's out looking for gold for some reason.
Because she's
Um,
poor. She has not figured that shit out yet.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, the duel happens. Stapleton cheats and shoots, Sarah in the head, but it don't matter because she be healing and shit.
Right. She got up. She was like, nah, but he shot her dead in the forehead.
Yeah, yeah. He has great aim. He has great aim, especially for using a pistol that old that's not really known for being as great with aim. So
He made it work.
well done. But she gets up, she shoots the whistle out of his hand. The worm thing eats him. Apparently, the worm shits gold, so that's why they keep it around. Um, Bass Reeves is John Diggle, so we're gonna just assume that Bass Reeves is an ancestor of John Diggle. That's what
Yeah,
we're
I
going
was like,
with,
is
and
that
yes,
Dick?
yep,
And then when he was just like, when he was like, that white boy is in over his head or something like that, I was like, is that Dig?
yeah.
And then later on, when Sarah said it, I was like, yeah, that's Dig.
Mm-hmm. Um, so yeah, the whole town turns on the legends because they, want to kill the worm, and the town's like, "Nah, man, that worm shit's gold, so we gonna keep that worm around." And there's a
They need
legend.
it for the town.
Yeah, they're holding up in the saloon. Eventually they just like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. Nate draws the worm out, gets all, builds up the anger and all that. Spooner does her mind control shit, and Asher does her thing, make the worm blow up. The end.
Yep.
Moving on.
Gary tells Gary tells Constantine that Crowley knows how to find the fountain.
Fucking Crowley. Okay.
And Barad gives Nate Zari's totem so he can go see Zari 1.0.
Conjugal
The end.
visits.
Essentially.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
What next?
let's go to the Flash.
Okay. I
Oh,
need
by
to
the
ask you.
way, Legends is called Stress Western.
Definitely was about to say that. Just realized I never asked you what the name of that episode was.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, yeah. What was this episode of The Flash called though?
This was called Enemy at the Gates.
Yeah, yeah. There was an enemy at the gates. A bunch of them. Bunch of the same enemy at the gates. Or at the force field. But
Oh yeah,
this
because the labs has a barrier for the security systems.
yes.
I wish
Yeah.
all places had something like that.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Right?
So this kicks off. Barry's having a dream.
About Nora.
Yeah, he sees Nora. Like, hey, what up? What up? What up? You know, see you. Hey, dead daughter, how you doing? He's
And
like, he calls Iris. Oh yeah, she tells him what?
she tells him that, everything will fall into place and like, everything will happen the way it's supposed to happen. She's like, don't worry.
Yeah, and then Barry's like, yo, Iris, I think it's baby time.
I think we're pregnant.
Yeah, yeah. So Barry's like getting himself all together and shit. Iris is not feeling well. They think it's, he thinks it's probably because it's morning sickness. So she's actually pregnant. He's got like, blood samples and urine samples and all that shit. He's about to go test it and run out the door. But then Cecile shows up. He's like, the fuck you doing here? And
And she can sense that Barry's emotions are all over the place.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He gets rid of her though. And
And
meanwhile,
goes on
Frost is just throwing paint in a canvas because that's what she does now because she's an artist.
and
Um,
playing darts.
yeah, yeah. She's basically she's gonna stalk bartender dude because, you know, she's obsessed with him now.
It's such a weird storyline. Like, I just don't understand it.
Yeah, yeah. Whatever. It's a real B story here anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Speaking of B stories, we got Joe and Kramer talking, continue their investigation of the night that her unit got attacked. Um, I really don't care about this either, but it's still happening.
Yeah.
But then we get to the meat of the episode. Godspeed. He's
Shows up.
there. He's doing some shit. He's like, oh, multiple Godspeeds at once. Okay. Um, Also, Barry's at Star Labs. He's trying to sneak in Iris's
He
blood and urine samples.
drove to Star
Yeah,
Labs.
he drove because he didn't want to fuck up the samples. So he's got
Which I don't low key understand. Because, I mean, the man runs food from other continents with no worries of
not
like things.
in yeah, but they're not in glass containers. They go a certain speed, glass can shatter, I believe.
I believe that. I just kind of feel like
I could be wrong. I could be making that up. That could be all in my head, but I believe that's a thing.
I can't tell otherwise. So I'm just going to say that you're right. But I feel like you can get these things in plastic.
Yeah, but also he's not, doing scientific experiments on the food. They're just eating it. So he needs the samples to be perfect while he tests them and all that. So
But I also was thinking this whole time, I was like, why can't we just take a pregnancy test?
I think it has something to do with him testing the metagenes and all that too. So it's just
If what I thought I was seeing was that like was trying to get the metagene, but trying to narrow it down to see the gender as well.
I don't know.
Which I was just like, what does that fucking matter? You get a healthy baby.
Yeah, well, he saw Nora, so he kind of wants to,
I know
see
he
if
wants
everything's
Nora
still the
back,
same. Yeah.
but that takes the fun out of pregnancy. I just feel like, I mean, like when you're doing it like this way, I feel like it takes the fun out of it.
I mean, you're still having a baby.
I know. I just, that's just me.
Okay. So then we also more B stories with Caitlin working on Ultraviolet with Allegra. Ultraviolet's like, yo, I'm not letting her operate on me. I don't know this bitch.
I don't trust any of these people.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
And Allegra just gotta, humble her down a little bit.
Also, so we got Frost. She's stalking bartender dude, and he's getting his ass whooped in the bar. And she shows up and
Which
gets
he
rid of the
probably
dudes.
deserved.
Yeah, he did. There's no doubt he deserved to get the ass whooping. Um, yeah, Frost shows up. She stops that ass whooping from happening. Let's see. Cecile interrupts Barry while he's testing the samples. There's some crazy window shattering shit that happens. It's Godspeed. He's, attacking. There's some Frost, Caitlin, and bartender dude stuff. Barry goes after Godspeed. Turns out it's a trap, but Barry runs away. He gets back to the lab. They drop a force field.
But then if they take it up to try to evacuate, like, they may kill Ultraviolet.
Yeah.
Or Esperanza, I should say.
Yeah. But yeah, while they're inside, Chester hears Barry leaving a message for Iris about the baby. So he's like, y'all having a baby, even though he knew they were trying to make a baby anyway. So
And I was just kind of like, y'all are not being low about it really either.
yeah,
Like all of a sudden y'all are fucking all over the place now, like two horny teenagers. Clearly you're trying to do
taking full
something.
day getaways at private islands and shit.
Like randomly on a whim. Like clearly you're doing something, most likely it involves children.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
I thought that was so funny because I was just like, why are y'all holding it a secret? Like, as far as it was.
especially since they all know that Nora existed. Like it's just like
Right. They all knew she existed. I mean, y'all have been married for X amount of time now.
yeah, yeah.
It was
It's
only a matter of time till you guys either accidentally made one or were attempting to do one on purpose.
yeah, yeah. So they realize that the way the Godspeeds work, the only way to really beat them is they got to start getting unpredictable. Which I thought that was the goal anytime you fight any bad guy. But
Yeah.
um,
Like,
it seems like the logical choice is not to do what they predict because if they predict it, they can counteract it. And yeah. Anyway, uh,
hello.
let's see. Frost gets some help from bartender dude so they can fight off Godspeeds. Chester's gonna broadcast the Godspeed's weird like speech pattern thingy over the CCPD system to try to confuse them. Um,
It doesn't feel like.
see, also Cecile's like, yo, I'm not gonna help you with this shit because Ultraviolet's like fucking up, like her body's getting all crazy and shit, her brain's shutting down. But Cecile like, I can put the calm into her and shit.
I
Um,
always love how flat out in the Flash, people's powers just low key are just upgraded and
well,
just
this
in
happened
time.
before. She learned how to do this a while ago though.
Well,
So
duh, I mean, like, or like, like when we found out Cecile's powers, she there was more things she could do. We're like, when did she learn to do that? Like, when did she learn how to do that part, or when did she
it was a
train
couple
that?
episodes ago. They talked about it.
No, no, no. I know that. I'm just saying it again because like she explained again what she was doing
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to just letting us assume that's what she was doing. But it's like, oh, at the time of need, and then they have to explain what she's doing, but like as if it's something new because she's like, I just learned da 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 da. That's all
Okay.
I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah. Or like even with last week with Allegra's powers leveling up
Mm-hmm.
just in time
Yeah.
or out of the blue.
So Godspeeds are breaking through now. They get into the lab. Chester goes and runs into the time vault. That's what Barry told him to hide in there. Um, he's gonna he sends the signal through the Star Labs, throughout Star Labs instead of sending it over the CCPD system to confuse the Godspeeds to kind of confuse them for a second, and then we get the Godspeed fight. So Barry's fighting two of them. Well, fighting one of them. Um, Two of them are fighting Frost and bartender dude, and the whole time I'm sitting like, "There's more. Where are the other ones? There's three more. Where the fuck
Yeah.
are they?" And then they start to show one of them got into the time vault, the other ones like show up in front of Barry. So he's like, there they are. Because I'm like, there were six. So like the three of you are not gonna beat off six of them. You know, it's
But
not
they
gonna happen.
tried.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, they get into the time vault. One of he smashes the little control panel thing, and then we have the "we're fucked" moment. And Barry's like, okay, well, you know what? Come get me, motherfuckers. And, gets their attention and runs out of the lab. Now he's surrounded. There's more Godspeeds. And they were like, at first they were like whooping his ass and like taking his speed, but then some other Godspeeds show up and they start fighting each other. And then they disappear. And like there's a Godspeed civil war going on. Like, what the fuck is this? What's happening here? Um,
It was at this time I was like, yeah, I'm a I'm a wash dishes.
Yeah. So then we got some more Frost and bartender dude stuff happening. Barry doing the testing again. The test is negative. She's not, there's no baby. Barry's all bummed about it. And I'm just like, why are you so bummed? It's not like you can't keep fucking. So
It's not you can't keep trying. Go home, try again.
that's really a key for you to go home and, you know, get up in your wife again. Like, what are you doing? Um, there's get back to Joe and Kramer. They're like just sitting in the car, waiting on some shit. And the car gets blown up. Somebody attacks them. And yeah, the
It's
end.
probably the dude.
Yeah, old dude. Yeah, whatever his name is.
Car went boom.
Yeah, yeah. And that was the Flash. Anything else with that?
No.
Cool. Batwoman.
Power.
I like that song. Kanye.
Yes. Thank you. I was for some reason I started thinking that song with Power is Power or something like that. With from the Game of Thrones soundtrack from their last season. It was by like The Weeknd and SZA, I think.
I'd have to hear it.
I'll send it to you later. But but I was like, I know that's not the song he's talking about, but I knew what you were talking about. I just couldn't get the words together.
Mm-hmm. So it kicks off. Black Mask is he's taking over the TVs in Gotham. Classic villain shit where you take over all the TVs because apparently that's just part of the
It's
villain
part
tool
of
set.
being a villain, yeah. They tell you how to hack into the broadcast network.
Yeah, yeah. Then we got at the same time that he's talking, Cersei Kate is suiting up. Um, they also cut all the power to the city because that's essential for some reason. Um,
Gotham loves knocking out power.
yeah.
I kind of want to
Also,
watch Batman Begins now.
then we got asshole Crow. He got the Bane Venom.
Tabaroff.
Yeah, that motherfucker. Um, they do some figuring with some looking at the broadcast and all that, and like his eye reflection. They figure out where the fuck Black Mask is, like where he's broadcasting from. Um, so Sophie and Ryan are going. Alice shows up. Mare gets shot. We never find out what actually happened to him. Where I'm assuming he died because they
Well,
didn't
they
say
weren't
anymore.
talking about it after everything had happened.
Yeah, they didn't mention him at all. That's why I'm like, he died right there because they didn't call the ambulance because how would they call him? So the mayor's still alive. I got questions.
Well, because
Um,
remember, Sophie stayed with him, and she was probably, either putting pressure on wounds and all
yeah, I
that.
guess. Yeah. So Ryan goes with Alice instead. Um, then Luke is just rummaging through some shit. He finds some old drawings he did of a cool bat suit and all that. And apparently his father just made that suit. It was just down there the whole time.
Just
It
chilling,
was just there.
waiting to, waiting to be used.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, that's how we're doing this. I mean, okay. I'm glad we got it. It's just a very weird way for them to do it. It's just like,
He
okay,
is
very,
alive.
yeah. Oh, he
He,
is.
he's alive, according to arrow.fandom.com. He is still alive because they reference this week's episode.
Hmm.
I went to like a Wikia site that goes over like characters and episodes of shows, different fandoms and stuff.
Right.
He is alive, and I was saying they referenced the episode, so it's not like it's not out of date.
They like literally say he's still alive.
Yeah, it says Sophie stayed with him until paramedics showed up,
Oh, okay.
and his character is still listed as alive.
Hmm. All right.
That's all.
So, um, what's asshole Crow's name again?
Tavaroff.
Yeah, he gets brought into marriage clinic. Meanwhile, Alice and Ryan are, doing Alice and Ryan shit.
Well, they
Um,
thought they thought he was dead, and I was like, haha, that was easy.
I look at him like, huh, I don't remember him being this fucking huge before, but okay. We're
Right?
not asking questions about all the tubes and shit running through his body. We
You
just,
know, I was like, they might as well have just stamped Bane 2.0 on his forehead.
yeah. But ends up waking up and starts raging out, of course, because who didn't see that coming? Um,
But once they brought him into the clinic, I was like, well, this is not going to be good. The way they kept specifying all the differences from the Bane Venom, uh, I was just like, so
using the atomized snake bites, like, oh, I can use this on Cersei Kate, and
yeah.
yeah. So that's what they do. She's like, yo, we can use the atomized snake bite on Cersei Kate and get her memories to trigger and bring her back, and blah blah blah. Um, so we got Ryan and Alice. They fighting Cersei Kate. Black Mask shows up. Asshole Crow is trying to kill Mary. Batwing to the rescue, though. He stops that from happening. We got Batwing versus asshole Crow dude. Um,
Batwing, Batwing.
Alice fuses Black mask onto his face. Like she like acid it's his face and then throws the mask on like, ha, you stuck on there now, motherfucker. Yeah.
Because it's an old Joker weapon.
Yeah, the flower. Yeah. Let's see.
That was like my favorite part.
Then we got Ryan goes after Cersei Kate. We got the bike versus the Batmobile.
And all the weapons against each other are fucking useless until she did the slingshot one.
I'm like, why didn't you do that first? Like, it's so easily like,
Oh,
oh, wrap up the bike so she can't turn the wheels and she falls off. That's logical. Why are you doing all this other shit?
yo, the way she yanked that bike from underneath her, funny as shit.
Oh yeah.
She was like, give me this.
So then we get Ryan versus Cersei Kate again. They go at it. Alice shows up. She sprays Kate with the atomized snake bite. And they both go over the bridge into the river.
And I started thinking, is this finally how it ties back around into the comic books for us, for Alice? It
The
did
Lady
not.
of the Lake thing. Yeah, no, they didn't
Yeah.
do that.
I mean, like just in the arc of that, like Alice is dead in the water, or she
Mm-hmm.
died like in the water and stuff like that.
We got more snake bite stuff there. They're just remembering everything. Alice ends up pulling Kate out of the water. They do like teamwork CPR on her. Um, GPD shows up, arrests Alice. Uh,
Which I
that's
thought
that.
was wild.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it is. I mean, she literally is a
You're right.
like a mass murderer. So like, yeah, she's there. They're gonna arrest her. Makes sense to me.
True. I was like, but can we like help her off the like the other one?
Yeah. Then we cut to a parole hearing for Ryan. I guess her parole officer like, yo, we need to let her off parole. So
Like ASAP.
yeah, she ends up getting released. She drops a speech on him. Let's see. Then we got her some hanging out with Luke, Mary, and Kate. It's actually Kate again. Um,
Finally.
yeah. Ryan and Kate have a little talk. Right. Kate tells Ryan like, "Yo, I don't want to be Batwoman. It's yours. Like, this is what you need to do. This is what you made it mean something more. So you do this."
She's like, you just make sure you take care of them.
Yeah, yeah. Conveniently, she's also leaving Gotham anyway. So.
And so fun fact, apparently also she's being apparently recast again. I don't know if that's actually true, but I've heard that rumor that she's being recast again.
Oh man.
Can't make it up.
Really?
So it is.
No, that's not what I just got an alert. Shakari Richardson, the sprinter, the runner.
Yes.
Apparently, she tested positive for marijuana, so she may miss Tokyo.
Ah, sis. Sis.
I'm
Sis.
trying to figure out why that's still a problem. But anyway,
I know. It's like, realistically, it shouldn't be a problem, but because you know how like shit is around the world and like, and all that other, and like other people just being weird about policies and things, I wouldn't even risk it if I knew something like that was on the line.
hmm like yo, she was
I
able to
would,
do that while smoking weed. Like, if anything,
it's
that would slow you down. Like,
crazy. I can't even like smoke sitting down without having like a mild asthma attack. Like,
yeah,
because I am asthmatic and I smoke. But like, what can you do?
yeah. So Kate's gonna go off looking for Bruce. Um, and then when they said like, "Oh, she's going away to find Bruce," I'm like, "Oh, will she stay gone? Can she stay gone now?" Yeah, yeah. Um, then we get Kate and Sophie with a goodbye kiss. If I'm Sophie, I'm like, "That's not weird. You just, you know, we kissing strangers' faces now because
Right. Like, okay.
They also decide they're gonna build the community center over Mary's clinic so they could all be one big thing. Since the
Yes, I
clinic
love
is
it.
legit, and so that's good. Um, Ryan goes to see Allison. I guess she's in Blackgate or she in Arkham.
Uh,
Doesn't matter. Um,
I want to say she's in Arkham.
yeah. Anyway, while she's there, Alice tells Ryan that her mother didn't die, and her actual mother didn't die in childbirth, so her actual mother is alive. And I'm just like, here we
And why
go.
and why do I feel like for some reason it's going to be connected to whatever big bad?
Yeah, she'll be some villain. Like, it's just I feel like her mother is some villain now, and
She's
it's
either like the big bad or she's connected to the big bad. Like she will lead her to it.
yeah,
Kind of like Angelique to Black Mask.
yeah, yeah. Then all of Batman's villain goodies are all just out and loose now.
Strewn
Yeah, we
across.
see Poison Ivy's vines going all over the place, and everything else just out. Just so
I'm
probably
just
just
like,
gonna have a
I
bunch
was
of
gonna say,
citizens grabbing onto their shit and regular people with the supervillain stuff, and they've also said that some classic villains are going to show up, so we'll see.
yeah, I was just like, is Poison Ivy coming?
Everybody has been saying that Poison Ivy because they've mentioned her multiple times now, and they showed the vines and all that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah, and that was the most prominent thing that showed. And
mhm.
because even I thought, like, I was like, ooh, is Poison Ivy the big bad next season?
Yeah.
I want to try something real quick, Travis, because like while I was looking up that reference about Mayor Atkins, I came across some like cool, well, I won't say, I like, little fun facts about each of the episodes. I figured since we kind of didn't have a lot to say about them, can just give little tidbits that in case like you didn't notice.
Okay.
So like for Batwoman, this was the first and the only episode of season 2 that doesn't feature Ryan suited up in the bat suit for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Um, during the goodbye scene with Sophie, Kate mentions that she's going to see a friend in National City very similar to the finale of season one, apparently. I feel like she probably said the same thing along those lines. Uh, and actually, this episode was originally intended to be the penultimate episode of season two.
Okay.
And then, so that leads me to, oh, that just goes to like another article. But I just thought those were fun facts about Batwoman. And then for, what is it? The Flash, the title references the novel Enemy at the Gates, The Battle for Stalingrad.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, this is the first episode to feature Nora since Legacy. Um, See, even this mentioned it. Cecile's powers have evolved to the point that she can even control heart rates by manipulating emotion, which is what she did to Ultraviolet. And then for what's the last show?
Legends.
Legends. Thank you. This was the first Western themed episode to not include Jonah Hex, which makes me now try to remember how many Western episodes did they do.
I think there were two others.
Okay. Spooner learned how to reverse her alien empathy power, also ironically just in time for it to work. Um, a lot of the frustrations that Nate has revealed that he was building up was ever since season two when he first started being a part of the Legends.
Valid.
Um, and I have all the rules from the tavern. This is what made me realize that there were fun facts. It was no cussing, fighting, gambling, fornicating, alcohol consumption, spitting, cheating, yelling, gunplay, and disrespecting others.
Disrespecting others.
Everything you would not want in a Western saloon.
Yeah, yeah. So
So yeah.
don't do saloon stuff in the saloon. Yeah. Mara, who's winning this week?
Uh, I want to say Ryan.
I agree. That's what I was gonna go with too.
She's free on. She's no longer on parole. She's back. She's free to be Batwoman, and she has like a pseudo family now.
And she has backup out there now too.
Touche. Cause there were some episodes where she really needed it. Cause it was like, sis, this ain't it.
Mm-hmm. Who's losing?
Mm, Barry.
Why Barry?
I'm trying to think who else is losing more this week.
I mean,
Well,
there
I
was.
mean, like, I think the disappointment of trying to have a baby and think you got a sign that you were on that
I
path.
think being in the car when it gets blown up is worse than that.
I forgot about that because that's becoming really irrelevant to me.
Hmm.
But yeah, that does suck. So I guess I will go with Joe.
Yeah. Not
Kramer
Kramer though.
loses. No,
Who gives a
Kramer
fuck?
loses.
You know.
Kramer loses just by being Kramer, and we can't change that. So
Right.
that it invalidates it.
Yeah. That's what I'll go with. You got Ryan's winning, Joe's losing. It's how this week is going.
Next week we'll only have the Flash.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I think this will be it for this week's episode of Super Flashy Arrow of Tomorrow, Mara. Do not forget you can follow us on both Twitter and Instagram at The Creation World. That is at TheCreatia World. Also, you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Creation World. Also on Facebook, there is a Facebook group for this particular podcast. What is that Facebook group, Mara?
Facebook.com/group/super flashy era of tomorrow.
There's also another weekly podcast we have here on our channel, that being Smacking It Raw, if you're a wrestling fan, every week, featuring the Warden Matt Ritter and the Pornhub Poppy Vince Daddy Delgado.
Not to be confused with Riddler.
Yes, because apparently Mara has an issue with those things. So yes, it's Ritter, not Riddler. Um,
Sorry.
there's also a Facebook group for that particular podcast. That's facebook.com/group/, Macking It Raw. Let's see. You can follow me on both Twitter and Instagram at Sir_Cussalott. That is at SIR_CUSSALOTT. Mara, where can they find you?
Instagram and Twitter at Mara the Shark. That's MARADASHARK.
Also, if you're listening to this on your podcast services, we appreciate that. Thank you for listening. But go over to the YouTube and hit the subscribe button, though.
Please, you don't even have to turn on notifications.
Yeah,
Just
just subscribe. Just subscribe.
subscribe.
Um, also subscribe to the Patreon, get the fun extra goodies there. It's a good time. I believe that'll be it. We'll catch you all next week.
For the
Until then,
Flash.
yeah, for just a flash. Until then, we out.
Bye.